Want to make your website pop with just a few lines of code? In this video, I'll share some amazing CSS transform tricks that will wow your visitors and take your web design to the next level. Let's dive in and transform your site together. This HTML code sets up a basic web page for demonstrating the CSS transform property. We have a div element with the class box, which will style and transform using CSS. Now let's move to CSS code. The CSS code styles the body of the web page. We've removed all padding and margin for a clean layout. The body uses a grid layout to center its content both vertically and horizontally, fills the entire viewport height, and has a light turquoise background. The font family is set to a clean, modern style. Then this CSS code styles the box class. Box is a 180px square, with centered large text. The boxes have a blue background and rounded corners, giving them a polished look. This was our basic HTML and CSS setup. Now let's run the code. Let's explore the transform properties. The translate X transform moves an element horizontally. Here, the box is moved 50 pixels to the right. The translate Y transform moves an element vertically. In this case, the box is moved 50 pixels down. You could also use negative values. The translate transform combines both translate X and translate Y, allowing you to move an element horizontally and vertically in one line. This shorthand method moves the box 50 pixels to the right and 60 pixels down. Then 50 pixels to the left and 60 pixels up. The rotate transform rotates an element by a specified angle. This example rotates the box 50 degrees, and then 120 degrees clockwise. Here, you can also use negative value in degrees. The scale X transform scales an element horizontally. Here, the box is stretched 5 times its original width. The scale Y transform scales an element vertically. In this case, the box is stretched 2 times, and then 4 times its original height. The scale transform combines both scale X and scale Y, allowing you to change the size of an element both horizontally and vertically in one line. This shorthand method scales the box to 2 times, and then 4 times its original size. The skewx transform skews an element along the x-axis. This example skews the box 3 degrees, and then 9 degrees horizontally. The skew Y transform skews an element along the y-axis. Here the box is skewed 20 degrees, and then 60 degrees vertically. The skew transform combines both skew X and skew Y, allowing you to skew an element along both the X and Y axes in one line. This shorthand method first skews the box 30 degrees horizontally and 2 degrees vertically, and then 60 degrees horizontally and 20 degrees vertically. The perspective transform gives a 3D effect to an element. Combined with rotate X, it rotates the element along the X-axis. Here, we've applied a perspective of 500 pixels and rotated the box 40 degrees along the X-axis. The perspective transform gives a 3D effect to an element. Increasing the perspective value, for example from 500px to 900px, makes the 3D effect more subtle and the element appears farther away. Decreasing the perspective value, for example to 100px, makes the 3D effect more dramatic and the element appears closer. Similarly, we can combine perspective with rotate Y to rotate an element along the Y-axis. Here, we've applied a perspective of 500 pixels and rotated the box 40 degrees along the Y-axis. That's a comprehensive look at the CSS transform properties. These transforms are powerful tools for creating dynamic and engaging web designs. You can also watch my video about CSS position property by clicking the I button above. Don't miss out. If you found this video helpful, like it, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coding tips. Thanks for watching, and happy coding.